Preparing the live stream right now. Got it? That's what it said. Preparing the live stream. So here we are. Done redirecting to YouTube. Good. Now I got a link that I can start sharing to people, being like, yo, come on the show. Cool. Anybody out there who wants to ask questions in the chat, we will answer them. This is Comedeorological Report, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. This is the pre-recording session, the recording session, the pre-record. So the final product is something that we send to radio stations and whatnot. But here we live stream the recording of that. Does that make any sense? I know that's really confusing.
Doesn't confuse me anymore.
Pretty straightforward at the moment.
We got Hilding Donaldson here already. And Hank Leistra. Hey, can I get you to turn your phone landscape so that we see the side image of you?
For me?
Yes. That's awesome. Look at that. Now we got you like TV style Hank Leistra out there in Wilkie, Saskatchewan. Hilding Donaldson, he's over there in Grassy Plains, British Columbia, and Imogen Cookie Bailey over there in Victoria. And we're just getting prepared here to talk about the weather. I'm sharing the link to everybody around. Trying to say, hey, we're live, so come on aboard. You know, how's everyone's week been?
Well, could have been worse, could have been better.
Come on, I want to hear spirit.
Well, we got some calves shipped today, and we actually had some rain last night, which was really nice. And the weather is really doing funny things, though. It's like it doesn't know what to do right now, but that's October weather for you.
Well, it's about to get a lot nicer for a few days in BC. And I got all the details on that in a few minutes. I was hoping Brandon Houck would show up here so we could start talking about the weather. How's the weather in Wilkie?
Oh, cold and windy, man. The wind is, I hadn't been paying enough attention to the forecast. I didn't realize it was going to be so crazy windy the last 2 days. Yesterday I had to bring cans and bottles in for recycling, and I set this container full of pop cans outside and come back out, and not only is the container tipped over by the wind, but I don't know where the cans ended up. Like, they were a block away. They all blew away. The entire container full of cans, so I feel really bad about it. And I don't know where they ended up. They blew away. But I didn't lose all of them. I still went to recycling and got my cans a refund for the cans I had left. But man, I lost like 20 of them or more. In the wind,
blowing away in the wind.
And it's going to be like -6 tonight, they say.
The weather is going to be bad all across Canada, and it's because of the Blue Jays.
But 23 on the weekend. Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be nice here across Western Canada at least, but not for Eastern Canada. It's going to be really sucky there. And then it's going to be pretty sucky again for Western Canada, more or less next week. Ask anything here and we'll try to answer it there in the chat. So I got that all set up. Hit like and subscribe and share and support this channel. And that would be so awesome if people could do that, because that's what we really need is viewers. I got 1,000 videos now on this channel and 1,000 views as well. So that's really good. You know, starting to really come along there.
Have you been having frost every night there at Wells?
More or less, yeah. You know, that's
we haven't been having any frost here yet.
Here we got model for Canada. See that high pressure in the weekend coming in. And that's what Hank's talking about there. Nice big H sitting there over top of more or less over Lethbridge. And that's making it warm all across Western Canada. Not so much for Manitoba. It's still kind of crappy there. They're getting lots of precipitation this last couple of days and days ahead. And Northern Ontario right now on a rainfall warning because that's been going on. They just had these crazy amount of thunderstorms pass through this whole area. Now it's raining. It was very, very hot there. But now this cold front has passed down through into more or less Ontario. And it's caused lots of severe weather across the United States this week and thunderstorms all over this area, right? So that's been very exciting. So we can go to the next slide now. There you see the high pressure really taking over British Columbia on Friday. Saturday, we got 2 H's in the West Coast. That's real nice, but 2 L's over there in Ontario. Another third one up by James Bay, Hudson Bay there. And then you can see over here, this is Hurricane Felipe. Well, it's not a hurricane anymore. It was only briefly a hurricane. But now it's a tropical storm, and the thinking at the time was that it was going to get pushed out to sea. It was going to be basically a fish storm only, and we knew this trough was going to be moving all across. We talked about this last week, all across the continent, which it's been doing, and now that trough sitting here, all that cold air is sliding into Southern Ontario and places like that. And the thing is, it's stalled out this trough. Here comes Brandon. He's going to help me explain this. So it's stalled out. So what it's done is instead of moving across all the way, and what it would have done then is because the lows are attracted to each other, this would have chased it up. But instead, these are stalling out. And what that's going to do is actually help pull it in. So that storm is now going to ride up almost to the exact same place Hurricane Lee went, more or less. One thing I am noticing when looking at the forecasts and the models is that it's going to, as it becomes a mid-latitude cyclone, it's going to actually intensify somewhat. It's going to get stronger, more organized than it is right now. So that's what we'll be looking forward to on the East Coast. There it is Saturday, moving up towards the Bay of Fundy, more or less. And we have all that high pressure sitting over Western Canada. So we have a really nice weekend in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan. Finally, Manitoba starts getting their turn on Sunday. And you begin to see now that low is really situated in Quebec by Sunday evening, and it's causing a lot of rainfall there. Right, Brandon? Hey, Brandon.
Yes, lots of rain.
Yeah. So what do you want to say about this model? And we can see this next big storm on the West Coast. And we've got a parade of storms that are growing up in, what do you call the Aleutian Islands up there?
Yep.
And they're very strong, and more or less, they've not been able to kind of come inland too much, but they keep coming. And we have some pretty strong ones coming one after another this next week. So there will be a pattern change once again here. So we can start from the scratch. What do you want to say about this, Brandon? This is today. This is tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah. So tomorrow, many of us in Southern Alberta getting our first, and Saskatchewan, I guess, getting the first real killing frost of the season. So expect the temperatures to be below freezing. Some areas getting as low as -6 to -8. So a bit chilly, and it's actually snowing right now in Regina. Yes. Just got that a video sent to me of the snowflakes coming down in Regina right now. So definitely a colder air mass in place across the prairies, and that cold air mass, along with the low pressure system that's moving through the Great Lakes and the tropical storm out in the Atlantic there, that's going to be moving into Atlantic Canada now. There's some model disagreement on where it's going to make landfall, but I think it's going to be anywhere near New Brunswick or the state of Maine as we go into the late weekend into early next week. But I think everybody's going to get strong winds. I think the heaviest rain will probably be in the state of Maine and then into Quebec, where we could be dealing with up to 50 to 70 millimeters of rain. And that colder air mass that's over Western Canada is going to be moving into the Great Lakes Sunday into Monday of next week. And it could be cold enough for areas like Timmins and areas just to the north of Ottawa might be getting some wet snow. So they've been seeing temperatures in the 30s, near 30 degrees this week. So we send them our cold weather, and we're going to be taking their heat will sort of taking their heat and bringing it back to the west. So it's like a big deal that we're having here, exchanging temperatures.
You can see this is the last on this Environment Canada model, last image, and you can see that snowfall belt sucking in behind this low, and that's 983. That's pretty low. So I mean, it's like you talk about where it makes landfall. I mean, I don't think there's one specific place that, whereas you think of like a hurricane, like it made landfall at this exact place. I don't think that matters so much when you have a really widespread.
Everybody's going to get wind
cyclone
out of this thing. Oh yeah.
It's going to unfurl and lash, and then look at it. It's quite organized. It's going to really sit in Quebec and on that Ontario side, and it's going to be a weather story for some days to come as it's stuck there, kind of more or less.
Oh yeah. Well, we are under the upper ridge of high pressure, and we've got an absolute gorgeous weekend ahead. We'll probably see temperatures possibly pushing mid-20s by Monday into Tuesday of next week, or at least Sunday to Monday of next week. In southern Alberta, at least. More like low 20s for everybody else, but that's still pretty dandy. Dandy.
So here's a nice image of this same thing, this model. There you go, that high pressure on Friday sitting in there. I gotta just move this a little bit so I can see. High pressure moving in
Brandon,
there.
I saw that Prince Albert area of Saskatchewan had snow on the ground this morning.
Yeah.
They had their first.
Yeah.
We were here in Wilkie. There was a chance of snow flurries this morning, but it never happened. But wow, it was very, very cold, and so tonight it's supposed to be even colder.
Oh yeah. That wind would have been. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the winds gusted 80k in swift current today, and it's like 4 degrees. So that is a cold wind, northwest wind today. And I just got video from Michael Lamb here on Twitter of the snowflakes coming down in Regina 13 minutes ago. And the wind's still blowing too, so it's miserable. 2 degrees.
Maybe we'll get you to share that video here in a minute. So here we have tomorrow on the models on the GFS, and you can see this high pressure sort of sitting off Newfoundland there, sort of sitting off of, more or less Frankie and Sydney. And here you have a tropical storm right here, L. It says L, but it's actually named Felipe. And this high pressure is going to help steer it in. And this low, it's all going to kind of conglomerate into one big nasty thing. Right. So you see that moving through, and central Ontario over to eastern Ontario into Quebec, getting its first band of rainfall precipitation coming into Saturday, sitting pretty nicely in Western Canada for the most part, maybe not so much up towards the territories. But the storm, the tropical Felipe there, looks like it strengthens to me as it comes into shore, as it transitions into a mid-latitude cyclone. Would you agree with that analysis based on this?
Oh yeah, it definitely will be a mid-latitude cyclone by the time it makes landfall.
It seems to me to be
merges
more
with that other system, because the system that they're getting is the one that's over Saskatchewan today that's producing all the winds. So that one's still that one's packing a punch. You get those two systems merging together.
Well, yeah, you have this high pressure. It's going to be feeding cold air right down and into the sky over the next bunch of days as well, right? And then you start to see on the West Coast, 982 millibar low over there, sort of being blocked by the high pressure. And then you see this guy, he's really now got its act together, sucking in that cold air as it comes into Quebec towards the Ottawa Valley, just north of St. Lawrence there. Seems to be, those are tight isobars. That's very organized, very strong. 981, 980. So they're dropping pressure for quite a while into Monday until it starts to maybe get wrapped out a little bit. Look at this. It's going to have a pretty classic look to it. And then this guy on the West Coast, 968, he got real strong. and lashes the west coast, but not so much inland. So that's nice. And these lows have been kind of going across into the Yukon, and there's been quite a bit of snow up in that northeast side of, in the north side of the Yukon. Quite a bit of snow falling and will be falling. There's of course all this stuff along the coast that's generally really big because there's got the really big mountains there, the St. Elias ranges. But up in the northern side, it's pretty dry in the Yukon generally, and they've been getting some considerable snow already and more to come. Tuesday, and finally you see that low begin to just kind of stall out over northern Ontario and generally start to lose its shape on the west coast. Another strong low comes in, and you see another one after that, 947, 948 up in this far corner here. So those Aleutian lows have been really strong, and if you ever seen any documentary footage about those islands, like say, World War II footage or volcano footage or footage about the people who live there, traditional peoples, the power of the storms and the way the landscape is completely blasted by the winds. That's an area that's common there. That's what happens. Finally, by next week, Friday, that low pressure is starting to work its way out of Ontario. Lots of storms down there in the United States. So we're starting to look further out now. Friday the 13th. Hey, there's a Friday the 13th this month.
Yes. On Halloween month.
Right on. Awesome. Yeah. That's what we need. Look at all this ribbon of precipitation.
Right out of the tropics.
Yeah. Interesting. Generally pretty nice weather across Western Canada for the next week.
Oh yeah.
All in all.
That's a big bomb. Woo.
Yes. Look at that one.
Yeah.
It starts to kind of weaken a little bit as it gets closer into that warmer water, I guess. And another one right after it. So these have them getting stirred up, and they've been kind of following that track quite a bit. There's been a lot of new snow, crazy amounts of snow in that Alaska, Yukon, British Columbia kind of corner. This tells us that these will keep getting steered there. So let's hope that's true. That would be nice. Be nice. All right, that's that model. 649. What's everyone got this week? What do you got to talk about?
Right.
Boring ass island weather in a boring ass retirement city tropical town where nothing much happens.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, I'm going to Miami next week, so that's kind of fun. So
Miami.
so that's a highlight, but not so highlight is that Sabian passed away this week.
Oh,
So
sure.
that's the other.
Yeah. That is too bad. Sorry. Yeah. Rest in peace. Good dog.
He was very good at dog stuff, and it was probably about as ideal as it could be given the situation. He had a good night. He was having a lot of bad nights. He had a good night, and he went to sleep. He was relaxed. He was comfortable. He went to sleep and just didn't wake up. So I think that given the situation, it was probably about as ideal as possible. Sucked out loud, but unavoidable.
That's better than our neighbors. Our neighbors here had a real family dog. It was just part of their family, and it got into their lake to drink water, and there was blue-green algae blew up on the shore, and it drank blue-green algae and poisoned itself. The neighbor is trying to find a way to get blue-green algae to be recognized as a risk in BC, and the BC government won't recognize it as a risk and won't allow you to have your water tested for it, which is kind of unusual.
Blue-green algae.
That's horrifying.
Blue-green algae normally grows and does not cause any conflict unless there is hot weather followed by wind on bodies of water. And the hot weather causes it to grow fast enough that it emits a chemical that poisons the water. The wind whips the chemical into the water, and it's one of the deadliest poisons known to man. Like lick your finger, you're dead type of thing.
Crazy.
Yeah. And my
Frankie's
neighbor
coming.
lost her dog that way.
What do you got there, Brandon?
I got some snow falling. Oh, Frankie has some fans already.
Hey, everybody, welcome to our show.
Yeah, right on, man. I guess we just got pulled into it. I don't know if we're going to be a temporary part or not, but yeah, good to see everybody. We're just saying hi to Frankie. Frankie's an absolute legend.
International legend now, Joey.
Absolutely international. So I'm originally from Frankie's hometown down in Whitney Pier, and I'm just home visiting for the long weekend here. I live in Halifax, so we always talk to Frankie. The guy's an absolute legend. Absolute legend.
Yeah, he is. He is that. He's our favorite. He comes on every week.
Joey. Again, I'm getting Joey only 2.
Joey only 2.
I'm getting Joey only the Graphic Crew guy.
Hey, welcome to our show, the Comedeorological Report. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada.
Right on. We're going to get going, Frankie. Let you do your show, buddy.
Let's go, Tornado Siren, imaging Joey Brandon.
Okay.
Hi.
Stop the recording.
Let's get Joey. Let's do TikTok with Joey only.
Let's do it. TikTok with Joey.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Do it with me, Dad.
I don't know how to
Tornado
do it.
siren. Tornado
Tornado
siren.
siren. Everybody. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada, the Comedeorological Report.
Like a cat.
Oh, I think we lost Frankie for a minute. Maybe it's not time to start yet.
I guess not, eh?
Okay, false start.
Well, we'll show you a video from Michael Lamb of the snow falling in Regina right now and the wind blowing. I think this thing's gonna go. I probably messed it up. Yeah, I did. It's gonna go. Sort of gonna go. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. But there's some. That's sort of going. It's buffering. That's what it's doing.
That's too bad. The dial-up internet you got there.
No, not dial-up internet. No. Maybe
It's
if
like
I
as bad as mine here in
minimize it.
Wells.
do this again. All right, Twitter. It's Twitter. It's probably Twitter. Yeah, or X, they call it now. As you see there, the big X up there. But yeah, it's snowing in Regina.
Very slowly.
There's this one's going. There's the snowflakes passing by the camera there. And the wind blowing. Nice.
Yeah, this is top quality weather footage here, folks.
Yeah. Watching the snow fly. In the
No, I can't get on my Twitter anymore, and then I guess I just don't care. Does anyone even use it? Do you have to pay to use it now?
No. It's still free.
For
If you want a
how
blue X,
long?
you have to pay. But that's about it so far.
For how long?
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
know.
funny that it's like the verified badge means nothing anymore on any of the major platforms. They're all paid now. I mean, you can still get verified if you have like a certain social status, but you can also just pay a monthly fee and now you've got a blue check mark.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like all of them now. It's great.
What does a blue check mark even do?
Well, it symbolizes social status. Like if you're a recognizable name or you're in the news a lot, some sort of I hate the term celebrity, celebrity status. You get the blue check. It means you're somebody.
I don't have the blue check mark on my Facebook, do I?
Probably not.
No, I don't think you do. Well, it looks like Hank's area is already at the freezing mark now. 0 degrees. Woo. And then you get into the BC interior and it's like summertime over here. Oh, minus 72 up here.
Still at Big Creek, right below the graveyard. No wonder it's below the graveyard.
Good old
The one that you can't bury people in anymore because it's got 100-foot deep permafrost after weeks of minus 72 at the Big Creek weather station.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's out of control.
Out of control.
Graveyard's too frozen to take corpses.
Frankie's back.
He's back, and you had to go get some selfies, right?
Always.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
He's got to appease his fans.
That's right.
That means my fans met you. You're coming to Sydney on Monday, April 8th, 2024 for eclipse when the moon crosses over the sun in the middle of the day. That's
I
once
may
in a
have to
lifetime
even
event.
get like a GoFundMe together to do it. So yeah, we'll kill that for a minute and then we'll how do I
You'll
go
be
back
staying at the
to
Holiday Inn. That means you'll be starting to GoFundMe.
how do I go back to I want the screen where it's not everybody.
But aren't we pretty?
Yeah, but just for now. Isn't that usually just to be like a view? There it is. Speaker. Okay, good. Now we're ready to start the show. And you're ready, Frankie?
Ready.
Okay, I'm ready too. This time for sure. Presto. Okay, it's the Comedeorological Report, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. My name is Joey, only up here in the Wills, British Columbia district. Yes, we're here to talk about all things bad weather related. And there's a lot to talk about across Canada because Canada is a place where a lot of bad weather happens. I'm here with my panel of meteorologists because comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. It's this new scientific study that I have begun with the world famous Frankie McDonald. It's the study, like I said, about how much the weather sucks in Canada. The weather is funny business, friends. So we got Frankie McDonald. He's out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia, where he's gearing up for another very powerful storm. Over in Brooks, Alberta, we got the radio weatherman himself. That's Brandon Hauk. He's here to talk about all things Western Canada weather and beyond. We got Imogen Cookie Bailey down there in Victoria. And we got Hilding Donaldson. And we got myself, like I said, Joey only. Okay. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. Then the post-tropical storm Philippe is going to hit Western Nova Scotia. It's going to hit New Brunswick, Maine border. It's going to hit Quebec City and things like this Sunday coming up. It's going to wrap around to Timmins, Ontario. That's going to bring a snowstorm in Timmins, Ontario. It's going to bring a lot of wet snow there in Timmins, Ontario, where Jamie Clump, the co-host of the Kids to Come podcast, lives. He's getting snow on the Thanksgiving weekend. That's going to cause a polar vortex. It's going to bring a lot of rain, snow, lake effect rain in Ontario too. In the Great Lakes region, it's going to bring cold air going all the way down to southeastern United States, including Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. It's going to bring Santa Ana winds to California this week. Typhoon just hit Taiwan, did a lot of damage in southern Taiwan.
Typhoon in Taiwan. Tell us all about it, Frankie.
It was really, really, really bad. Causing big waves, crashing on beaches and shores in Taiwan. It was mighty bad in Taiwan. And it's going to bring a lot of power outages, bring down power lines, snapping tree branches to have. It was really, really, really bad storm.
Typhoon in Taiwan. Big news this week. Do you know what the typhoon was called? Anybody?
Brandon has to unmute.
You know, something like that.
Typhoon, you know?
Kuno.
Kuno?
I think so. Koinu.
Koinu?
It's heading towards China.
Yeah.
Caused 190 injuries, but no deaths. In Taipei, Taiwan, Typhoon Koinu swept southern Typhoon on Thursday, killing one person, injuring more than 300 as it brought pounding rain and record-breaking waves to the island, leading to school and office closures.
Then they got the total solar eclipse heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024. You'll be arriving in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Friday, April 5th, 2024.
I'll be there if I have to start a GoFundMe. What else is going on, Frankie?
Things are great so far. And John Ratchford's gonna and John Ratchford's a professional photographer. He took professional photos of me on September 26th. This week coming up, he's going to release the professional photos of me.
Is it photos of your entire whole body?
Yes, from head to bottom of the sneakers.
Excellent. Those are my favorite ones. What about the rest of the world, Frankie? What's going on in Australia lately?
Lots of rain going on in southeastern Australia. It's going to bring a lot of hail in southeastern Australia this October, November, and December, because the southern hemisphere of spring, that's their kind of severe weather season. In southeastern Australia, it's going to bring a whole lot of severe weather there. New Zealand's starting to warm up because it's spring there now. Then it's going to bring hot temperatures in for Cargill, New Zealand, a couple of months away.
What about in Europe?
Lots of rain going on in northern Europe, and England's getting a lot of thunderstorms, getting a lot of wind and rain lately in England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Ireland. In those places, Isle of Man is north of Scotland. It's going to bring a lot of rain right now, including Norway, Finland, Sweden. Lots of snow up in the mountains there right now, including Finland-Russia border.
What about in Japan, Frankie?
Lots of storms coming off the coast of Japan, too. There's a lot of rain going on in Tokyo, Japan. There's going to be a couple of typhoons hitting for Japan this month.
What about Western Canada, Frankie?
It's going to bring really, really, really warm temperatures. It's going to bring lots of rain in Vancouver, British Columbia next week. California's getting a Santa Ana winds. It's going to bring a lot of fires in Southern California, bringing a lot of fires there in Southern California.
I've been thinking about that already because I just put a new video up my YouTube channel, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude, which this show streams on. New video in the video, it's a wildfire weatherman video. And in that, I'm working with American Hotshots, and they're all from California. And I was thinking about them knowing that their fire season is going to kick into high gear now.
That means it's going to bring wetter than average winter in Southern California. It's supposed to be, because of El Nino, it's going to bring wetter than average winter in Los Angeles, going all the way to southern states as well. That's going to dampen the Rip Fest this winter coming up. Southern states usually have their Rip Fest in the wintertime.
Oh, no, not Rib Fest.
Like the Rib Fest is in southern states.
Well, we don't want the bad weather to ruin Rib Fests everywhere.
Like in southern states, because it's an El Nino year.
Yeah, so hope all you Rib Fests out there have a backup plan for what to do in case it's too cold to have people eating ribs outside.
Because they have that, the Rib Fest is in southern states every January, February, and March, and December every year in southern United States.
Maybe they could have them like in rodeo grounds or somewhere where there's covered areas. And where cows are close.
That means who else is coming to Sydney besides you in April 8, 2024 for total solar eclipse? Imogen, Brandon, Hilding.
They're awfully quiet, Frankie.
And Joel Stover's coming down too.
Are you guys not coming?
I'd like to. I'm not sure if I'll make it though.
Oh, we'll try to make it. Oh yeah.
I'll be there.
Brandon's
I'll
coming.
be at Frankie's.
Yeah, we'll see you at Frankie's.
At a holiday in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Frankie is the greatest of all time, says Darian Bailey in the chat. Frankie's going to marry Nelson Peabody's sister. Congratulations, Frankie. She's well under 20, says the BYB podcast.
Well over 20. That means that then Nelson Peabody, he's doing great so far.
Frankie stole Wi-Fi from the A&W too.
Not true.
Did Frankie start the fire?
I did not start the fire at all.
He started the fire right after he stole the Wi-Fi. And he started the fire by whipping lightning bolts around. That's how he does it. He throws the lightning bolts.
That's good.
I know, because one thing they tell us forest firefighters is don't use Wi-Fi out in the bush because it can start a fire.
Yeah.
A Wi-Fire. Okay, let's start a Wi-Fi, especially near the deep fryer. So that's pretty good stuff. That's pretty good stuff. So thank you for those comments, everybody. Frankie, any new videos this week?
I just did a forecast about post-tropical storm Philippe to hit New Brunswick on Sunday, October 8th, 2023. This is Frankie McDowell, my own team station.
Can you guys hear that?
Post-tropical storm Philippe is now heading towards New Brunswick on Sunday. And this is slowly only. 2023.
Can you hear that? Oh, wait.
New Brunswick main border. Get slowly only in there too.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Welcome. This is the Comedeorological Report. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada.
It does suck in Canada.
Yeah, you got another tropical storm coming there. How's that? How are you doing?
It's for Western Nova Scotia, New Brunswick.
I gotta go.
Let's continue the video, Joey.
Okay, let's continue the video. Could you guys hear that? Because I didn't put share sound on. This time I got share sound on. Okay.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Post-tropical storm Philippe is now headed towards New Brunswick on Sunday, October the 8th, 2023. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain and very strong winds in New Brunswick main border, including Fredericton, New Brunswick, and Moncton and St. John, including Bangor, Maine, Lewiston, Maine, and Portland, Maine, and surrounding areas. Winds are going to be really strong. It's going to hit Western Nova Scotia. It's going to hit Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, Greenwood, Nova Scotia, Canfield, Wolffield, Digby, Shelburne, Lunenburg, Liverpool, Bridgewater, Halifax, Dartmouth, Bedford, Sackville. It's going to bring a lot of rain in Western Nova Scotia and very strong winds in Western Nova Scotia, including New Brunswick, including Fredericton, New Brunswick. It's going to bring very strong winds. It's capable of knocking out power in New Brunswick, including Fredericton, New Brunswick, Bangor, Maine, USA. Holton, Maine, USA, and Calais, Maine. It's going to bring really strong winds. There'll be big waves crashing on beaches and shores in Western Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Maine, USA, including Bangor, Maine. Woodstock, New Brunswick. It's going to bring sewers to back up in the streets. It's going to bring down power lines and snap tree branches in half in New Brunswick and Maine, USA as well. People in New Brunswick, be prepared. Have your rowboats ready, raincoats ready, have rain tools ready. When you go outside, wear your rain gear, wear your rowboats ready, raincoats to keep it dry. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cases of Pepsi, buy cases of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. Make sure have your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, tablets, charged. Have your 3G, 4G, 5G, LTE, mobile internet ready as well. When you go for a walk, don't walk too far. Make sure you have your extra batteries ready and mobile internet ready, just in case you lose power, for people living in New Brunswick, Western Nova Scotia, and Maine, USA as well. Winds are going to be really strong in Western Nova Scotia, especially Yarmouth, Halifax, Greenwood, Shelburne, Lunenburg, Liverpool, Digby, and all these places. If anybody living in New Brunswick, be prepared for post-tropical storm Philippe on Sunday, October 8, 2023. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in the post-tropical storm Philippe. Stay dry, be safe.
Wow, yeah, post-tropical storm Philippe. That's going to be a pretty big one, eh, Frankie?
Not where I'm at. It's for New Brunswick.
Yes, of course.
It's not tropical storm Philippe. It's going to be a western half in the Nova Scotia. I'm not there.
Okay. Yes, yeah, I know that was kind of wrong to say that, but it's not going to get you even a little bit. What other videos did you make this week, Frankie?
I just said I was on ham radio and things like this, and I just did another video promoting my dad's song, his SoundCloud, Mr. Miss, promoting my father, Frank McDonald SoundCloud. Okay, guys, we're gonna do some dancing. Let's show me my moves.
Those are some pretty good moves.
Yeah, dude's got moves like Jagger.
Don't let your guard down, because it could be tigers
Sounds
anywhere.
like a tiger is coming.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, the tigers are chasing after me.
Get out of there.
Oh my God, there's a lot of tigers are after me now.
Don't stop.
Oh my God, there's more tigers after me.
Not more.
I just sent you guys a link to promote my. Oh my God, there's a lot of tigers after me now.
Run, Frankie, run. Jeez. Don't get eaten. Ow.
There's more tigers.
Approximately how many tigers were there?
Jeez, look at them all.
Oh my God, tigers can't stop chasing me.
Frankie walked into an infestation of tigers.
That's a lot of tigers.
There's more tigers now.
How do you prepare for that?
I just barely got away.
Barely.
Thanks for watching. I'm Frankie McDonald.
Ah,
I just sent you the link to my video I uploaded yesterday about promote my dad's SoundCloud.
should we watch everybody?
Yes.
Okay. I was chasing bears today, Frankie.
Oh
I
yeah.
just sent you the link just now.
Yeah,
Listen, Yogi Bear.
I saw it before. I think it's just sometimes I think it's funny that when you expect me to play one video, but then I play a different one instead. You know,
What about my father, Frank McDonald SoundCloud?
what about him?
Hey, I'm
How
Frank
is
McDonald. I
Frankie
gotta
doing?
tell you something. My dad, Frank McDonald, he's making his own music on the SoundCloud. He makes his own original music on the SoundCloud. He writes his own songs and play the guitar. His SoundCloud is Mystic Mist. My dad, Frank McDonald's making a lot of music in these days. He writes his own original songs. He plays guitar. He's a songwriter. My dad, Frank McDonald's writing a lot of songs and playing music and making his own music and on his SoundCloud, Mystic Mist. Everyone, you should check out my dad's SoundCloud, Mystic Mist, so everyone can listen to my dad's music. He's a great musician. My dad, Frank McDonald's a great musician. He's writing a lot of songs. He's making music. He writes the songs and things like this. My dad, Frank McDonald, is making a whole lot of music in these days. And my dad is a great guy. He's writing a lot of songs. He's making a lot of music. He's writing so much music. He's making so much music. He's writing a lot of songs, and that's a lot of work he does, making music. My dad, Frank McDonald, is a great guy. He's making a lot of music in these days. I'm Frank McDonald.
Yeah, I liked when Frank McDonald Sr. came on the show. It was really real privilege. Real privilege. I was chasing bears today, Frankie. You watch this.
Go on. Keep going. Keep going.
That's a big old bear.
Yeah, keep going. Keep moving.
And he's been hanging around town for almost 2
Keep
weeks.
moving.
So now every time I hear
That's
he's
right.
around,
Keep going.
I go after him and make sure he gets the message.
That's right. Keep going.
He's scared of me
Right out of town.
because I
Keep
don't
going.
stop every
Keep
time.
going. Keep going. Right out of town.
keep moving.
Right going.
And he came back again, so I threw a firecracker at him.
Keep going.
There he goes.
Keep going. That's good. You keep going.
You keep going.
That means the leaves are changing colors in British Columbia.
Out. Yes.
Watch this, yeah. It's hard holding the phone right. There, I threw a firecracker at him. I got him running.
I got more of that.
I got more of that. Plenty of that where that came from, Frankie. So there's two ways to deal with bears, I think. This is really interesting. This comes from Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. But this is something that a lot of states put out, this kind of thing. If you care, scare the bear. This article says, to help curb the rise in human black bear conflicts, all residents need to do their part by not allowing habituation events to occur. One of the best ways to reduce human habituation in bears is to scare them away. If you live in an area with high levels of bear-human conflicts or home entries, you need to do your part to keep your community and bears safe. When you see a bear spending time in your yard, especially one that is eating garbage or seed at a bird feeder, instead of grabbing your cell phone to take a photo or video, you should immediately scare the bear. Scaring a black bear can reinforce its natural fear of people and keep it from lingering in neighborhoods and other areas where conflicts often arise. Effectively, scaring a bear also reinforces the person as a dominant the dominant one in an encounter, so the bear learns to avoid people. This tactic should be done consistently over the long run, so bears learn to avoid your yard over time. Use extreme caution. So if you're not comfortable going to scare the bear, then you should completely avoid it. So we try to limit the amount of interactions it has with humans that aren't negative. You want more negative interactions so that it associates people with negative things and moves on. So make noises, yelling. Your voice is one of the most effective things. Blowing a whistle, using air horns or motion activated devices, changing your tactics, different kinds of sounds, the way in which you use them when. So I used it. I used the firecracker in that case. I don't usually bother, but he kept going in between buildings and I didn't like that because it puts me in a bad place. I want him to get out of that area of like trees and clumps of sheds and buildings and whatnot. So I tossed one to get him moving out of the open. And then I just kept on him right till he was to the edge of town. And haven't heard anything about him being back in town now today since then. So if you care about them, scare them. Oh my God, the guy's being chased by bears, Frankie.
Yes.
Frankie McDonald in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Anything else you want to say today?
Things are going great so far. And did you hear about this? I was on Compound Media related podcast this afternoon. That means I was on Compound Media as well. Things are going great so far. Now I was on Anthony Rogers show on Tuesday night.
The Wild Child. That's
Roger
excellent.
Wild Child and Anthony Rogers. Those are two different guys altogether.
Yeah, lots of Anthony's, eh? There seems to be a lot of Anthony's doing podcasts these days.
And that means Anthony Cumia, he's the owner of Compound Media New York.
So maybe what we need to do is get an Anthony on this show so that we become popular.
Anthony Cumia, he's the owner of Compound Media.
Right. So if you know any Anthony's out there, tell them we're looking to hire an Anthony.
Anthony Cumia lives in New York City. He owns the Compound Media. He runs the Compound Media.
Once we have an
He's the boss
Anthony,
of the Compound
ratings
Media.
will go right through the roof.
Anthony Cumia is the boss of the Compound Media in New York City.
Any chance your middle name is Anthony Brandon Hauk?
No, my middle name is William.
Hey, mine too. It's like we're long lost William Weather brothers.
There you go.
So what do you got for us this week, Western Canada weather-wise there, Brandon?
Western Canada weather. Well, it's been an interesting week, no doubt about that. We've had some thunderstorms. Some areas even had some severe thunderstorms moving through parts of Alberta. Actually, not quite Alberta, more so Saskatchewan and Manitoba have had severe thunderstorms this week. And southern portions of Manitoba, including Winnipeg, had a wild thunderstorm this week as well. And now that has all changed in just 24/7, 46 hours, pretty much, where we've had a big flip in the weather pattern across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba for today, especially for today, as we have the northerly wind really cranked up today. We've had wind gusts of 80 kilometers an hour in swift current and wind gusts of 70 to 80 kilometers an hour, both Moose Jaw, Regina, and temperatures, as you see, they're already below the freezing mark. So we're in for a widespread frost tonight.
Those are some swift currents.
Oh, yeah, some very swift currents, and it's still swift and currenting right now, north of 32, gusting to 48 right, as of right now, at about 8:20 Mountain Daylight Time on the, it is the 5th of October. Yes, it is the 5th of October. So
thank you. I always forget to say that.
I knew I would say that someday. So we have snow falling right now in Regina. That's right. It is snowing as of right now in Regina, Saskatchewan, with their temperature 2 degrees and their wind out of the northwest of 43, gusting to 57 kilometers an hour. So it's a wild night to be in Regina, that's for sure. It's always a wild night in Regina, by the way. Yeah. Anyways, so that is that's what we're following for us in the west. A cold air mass. We're in for a widespread frost tonight. But then after tonight, things are going to change, and we're going to be into the upper ridge of high pressure. You can see there storms getting steered up to the north there into Friday. A cold start Friday morning, temperatures below freezing for Alberta, Saskatchewan by the afternoon. Anticipating those temperatures, daytime highs to approach low to mid-teens, looking very nice. Friday the 6th of October, and look at that, nice warm up through Thanksgiving here. Lots of sunshine under the upper ridge of high pressure. So, yeah, pretty much fair weather right through the weekend, through Thanksgiving, looking very nice. Temperatures pushing mid to upper 20s in southern Alberta there. So looking quite dandy. And then into Monday, look at that. There's the next system moving in on the coast sections of BC. That's going to be the next rain, wind event there. And that will probably allow for Chinook conditions to continue in southern Alberta for the first part of next week. And then it looks like things do start to cool off just a tad towards the end of next week. But yeah, some of us getting our first frost of the season tonight.
Still riding 22s next week in Alberta. Nice.
Oh, yes. Very
Nice.
nice stuff indeed.
Well, we do see a little bit of that this weekend there in the Williams Lake sort of area, but no, it looks like you really got the benefit of our bad weather once again.
Ha! I win. Ha! Sorry.
Yeah,
I'll stop.
yeah, you do. There we go. Here's our jet stream. Here's the 500 millibar animation on the GFS. There's that nice patch of warmth. There you go. Oh, and like this big bulb, and then woo! Look at that! Wow, there, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and then oh wow, yeah, you're gonna have a jet streaming around there. That's what the jet stream is. Completely bendy,
Highway of weather.
bizarre, and weird. What do you think of that? What do you think of that jet stream flow? Is that something completely?
Oh, that's something right out of a movie. Oh yes.
Kind of, yeah. It is a short movie about jet stream
Short movie.
that I got right here. Dun, 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 dun. Roar. 20th century vole.
It's all the tigers that were chasing Frankie. Oh yeah.
And so there we go. I think this even includes you, Frankie. Maximum wind gusts 70 to 80 kilometers, potentially high over exposed areas this weekend. Total rainfall 25 to 40 millimeters, but 50 or more possible in areas of heaviest rain. Saturday afternoon over western areas later in the evening. Conditions improving west Sunday morning through Sunday afternoon. Trough of low pressure is expected to interact with Tropical Storm Felipe and will combine to give heavy rain and strong winds to the region this weekend. So that does look to include even Frankie and Cape Breton. And then
What about Vancouver?
we got stronger wind gusts 70 to 80 in that place called Prince Edward Island.
Prince Edward Island. That's right near Summerside, where the
And then
dot is at.
sort of similar forecast there for New Brunswick, 70 to 80 kilometers an hour, maybe 50.
What about Vancouver? Supposed to get an earthquake anytime soon.
Ooh.
People in Vancouver, you can't escape major Vancouver earthquakes forever. 50 to 80 millimeters in
Oh, no, I
Quebec.
gotta show you a stream over Vancouver's forecast.
Okay. Show us,
This
Frankie.
Monday forecast.
So it says rain there, and here I'll pin you. Oh, it's gone now. It went away right as soon as I pinned you. So 18 degrees Monday, and nighttime 12 degrees and raining. That's pretty nice. Monday, October 9th.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday,
18 and
15s,
rain?
15s. So some nice weather there for Vancouver. And then Sunday, October 15th, 16. So pretty nice weather there in Vancouver. 17 on Friday and Saturday next week. 18 on next week, Thursday. That looks pretty nice. I'd take some 18-degree weather. So yeah, Vancouver's getting the benefit of some, except for some heavy rain bouts, 30 to 40 millimeters here and there. And, you can expect some still pretty nice fall weather, I suppose, there, right?
Well, what about Los Angeles weather for next week? What's the weather for Los Angeles, Brandon, for next week? Is it going to be Santa Ana winds to cause a lot of fires?
Oh yeah, we gotta watch those Santa Ana winds. So Santa Ana winds, they're the winds that they're kind of like Chinook winds, but instead of downsloping on our side of the Rockies, you get the easterly flow. So you get that easterly flow from high pressure that's over us and a low pressure to the south, and you get the tightly pressure gradient right there. And you get your Santa Ana winds. They're going to downslope on the other side of the Rockies, right into California. And typically, if it's really warm in California, if you get really hot weather, you get your Santa Ana winds, and that can really increase that fire behavior. However, the thing is, in California this year, they're no longer in a drought. So they've had all the snow in the mountains and the rain as well. So probably won't anticipate.
There's another tropical storm headed towards Mexico next week too. West
Oh,
coast
yeah.
of Mexico.
Oh yeah, we've got another tropical disturbance out in the Pacific as well. What's that tropical? Ladia or something. It's just been sitting out there for the last week, sitting in the same spot, not moving.
They shouldn't have retired like all the simple names, because now hurricane names are getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah, and they're getting really hard to say too. So probably messed up this Philippines name 15 times already this week, and yeah.
Felipe.
Philip. I'm just gonna call him Philip. I don't care.
You think there'll be any tropical storms when Imogen goes to Miami?
Oh,
To see
there should
Felipe?
be a tropical storm Imogen. That would be a good storm name, actually.
Oh, I am a storm. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
I do want to highlight that on one of the days that I'm gone, October 14th, there is going to be a solar eclipse that on the West Coast, most easily
That's
visible.
where Brian Smith is at. That's where Brian is at. October 14th. Brian's getting a total solar eclipse in Oregon.
Yep, it's going to travel from the Pacific Northwest down to the southern east sort of area and then circle around through South America. But my absence from the Pacific Northwest does prove that the world goes dark when I leave. So
That means that Brian Smith will be on your podcast next week.
So find appropriate viewing material and sear your retinas like the hams they are on the grill. Welding glass. I got a whole bunch of little welding glasses that I use for this kind of thing, and it's perfect. So if you can get your hands on a welding mask, you can sit outside and watch the eclipse. It will be awesome.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of clips, partial eclipse with a welding mask on my head, looking like a fool standing on the street. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm watching the eclipse."
Staring at the sun. What are you doing?
Right.
Yours is the only face that doesn't have smoke coming out your eyes.
That's right. And some people try to use crackers, but I don't think those work. No, probably.
What?
Crackers, eh?
Crack.
That's a creative one. I haven't heard that before.
I don't think it works though. You still have partially your eye looking into the sun. So
What about chips?
Chips?
What about
Oh, some crackers have holes in them, right? Chips don't really
Yeah.
have holes.
Well, chips are kind of translucent.
Sort of.
Yeah, like using the cracker. to
Depends what
protect-
kind. Hopefully it's not barbecue. You don't want to get barbecue flavor of chips in your eyes.
Yeah,
That
you're
would
trying to use a
kinda sting.
cracker to
Or a
protect
ketchup.
your eye, but then you get salt in it, and you're like, "Ah, my eye!"
Especially
And then
salt
you
and
take the cracker
vinegar.
away, and you try to
Oh,
fight,
salt and
force your
vinegar
eye
would be the
open.
worst.
You're trying to force your
On the
eye open because you
Autobahn
put
curve.
salt in your eyes
On
from
the
your
Autobahn
crackers that were meant to
curve.
protect your face. And then when you open your eyes, then you see an eclipse. Ah! And you've got to put the crackers back on. And
Well, if you take sandwich meat, ham, and you slice it thin enough, you can see through it enough that by slapping some ham slices across your face, across your regular sunglasses, you now have solar eclipse proof viewing goggles. Works perfect, and it makes you nice and ham scented. So, check the jelly counter. Stock up.
I'd
Make sure it's
definitely go
real
out.
thin sliced. It's what?
I'd definitely go out in public with ham slices on my face. Hey guys, how's it going?
Salami's too textured. It fits your glasses better, but it's too textured. You got to go with the ham.
so that's what next April, when we go to the eclipse in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Imogen will be providing us with the protective ham glasses.
And I guess I'll bring the crackers. There we go.
Nice. It'll
We'll
be a
have a
Brian Smith will come to
smorgasbord.
Sydney too.
Other than that, what else is new down there in Victoria there, Imogen?
mild weather, mild weather as far as the eye can see. As of totally unrelated to the weather because there's nothing happening with it. I think that a cloud sailed by earlier. I don't know. It was just a bland blue sky day with a cloud drifting past. The cloud was bored of itself. It dissipated and turned into nothing. But yeah, at the moment, there's half an hour left in the online voting for the Face of Horror competition that I'm in. And then for the cuts for the top 5. So in like, I'm watching the timer on my screen. I've got it going because I'm kind of curious how I'm going to make the cut because I'm currently in 5th place and they're doing the cuts for top 5. So I might get bounced at the last second. I'll know in 27 minutes.
Imogen, Face of Horror in the next 27 minutes.
Right, in the top 5.
Frankie, where can people hear this show?
And you have to go to Joey Only YouTube channel. Community Meteorological Weather Report. Go to Joey Only Show.
Yes, but where are we broadcasting right now? Radio stations. I need to do a radio station.
It's on Joey Only Show. It's on CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince George and CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Shaw Spotlight TV in between Victoria, British Columbia and Duncan, British Columbia.
We can't just say Shaw Spotlight on Vancouver Island. I mean, at some point, we're going to take over the whole world. So let's just start with the island. We're inclusive of the northern folk here.
After a while, it'll probably reach Nanaimo, Parksville, Comican Beach, Courtney, Comox, Campbell River, Port McNeil, Port Hardy.
Pretty soon, Frankie will be on every town in Canada, every town in the entire country, everywhere coast to coast, all of Canada.
That means it could be on Seaside Cable in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
We could be on CTV, we could be on CBC, we could be on the news, we could be on the radio, we could be anywhere, Frankie. We just never know. Every town in the whole wide world ever.
It could be CBC, or it could be CTV, or it could be Global Maritimes, or Global Toronto, Global Edmonton, Global Vancouver.
Maybe we'll just have our own channel on satellite TV, the Frankie channel or something like that. Comedeorological channel, Comedeorological Report channel, the CRP.
2 weeks ago, I was in Smith, and I was at a pub where they had an open mic for the evening, and we were talking about YouTube, and I said I was on the Comedeorological Report with Frankie, and the guy said, oh, I'm a big Frankie fan. Now I'm going to have to subscribe to the Comedeorological Report so I can see him in BC.
Yeah, every week we're on here, right here. And if you put a question in the chat, we will try to answer it when we're doing this live here. So thank you for everyone's comments so far. What about you, Fielding? What's new? You got some new calves, you got some new cattle, you doing cowboy things out there in Grassy Plains?
Brought the cows in from the pasture this week, and we're shipping the calves to market. And we counted all our calves yesterday, and we were 16 calves short. And so we counted them again, and we counted the cows, and we found out we had 5 cow calves that are still out in pasture, which is really unusual for October. And then we checked out, and there's still, I think the last count they had, there's still 8 calves that are totally unaccounted for, and we have no idea what happened to them. So either somebody backed up a stock trailer to our pasture and helped themselves to some calves, or possibly we've got a wolf problem, but we've never seen wolf signs in our pasture. We've never had wolf problems before.
Wolf problems, possibly, or cattle rustlers out there in Grassy Plains. Do they still hang cattle rustlers?
I don't know if it's legal to hang cattle rustlers, but guys talk about it.
They like to fancy about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, so this week we had extreme rainbows in Quesnel, extreme rainbow outbreak. And you know what happens when you have an extreme rainbow outbreak? Because anything can happen. You can't be too cautious with
And I don't know where they ended up.
Oh wait, that's the wrong channel.
No, if you get an extreme rainbow outbreak, you
All
might.
right, we're going rainbow chasing today. The National Rainbow Forecast Lab says there's a high chance of rainbows in the Quesnel area today, so we're gonna try to intercept some of those rainbows. We're in my Rainbow Intercept vehicle. This is the Dominator 10. Rainbow Intercept vehicle that's got specific modifications that I designed, put into it specifically to withstand anything that a rainbow can throw at it. On the next episode of Rainbow Chasers. We got a big rainbow right there. It's right there, big rainbow. Should have seen it, Frankie. There we are in the middle of the afternoon. What is it? 4 o'clock here in Quesnel. Nice rainbow down here at the park. Powerful rainbow. Kids are already in the car. They're like, they can see the rainbow just fine from in the car, but I can't. I gotta be out in the rain because that's what I do. Rainbow here in Quesnel, everybody. Look at that rainbow go. It's rainbowing around, like trying to get into the core of the rainbow and have a successful intercept. Quite the rainbow. If you've never seen a rainbow before, that's what they look like. And looks like it goes down here somewhere. There's 2 of them now. 2 rainbows, Frankie.
God, one underneath it.
There's 2 rainbows, folks. How many rainbows do you want? Is that enough rainbows? When is enough rainbows enough? We got 2 of them right here. If that's not enough for you, that's not enough rainbows. That's a first world problem all the way. Even that guy's outside the train looking at the rainbows. Big tough train conductor. Right down there. He's like, look at the rainbow. Trying. He's probably thinking right now, there's 2 of them. He's stopping the train. If you're one of those people who thinks that's not enough rainbows, then there's something wrong with you, because that's a lot of rainbows. 2 of them. Do you see them both? 2 rainbows. Do you see the rainbows? It was crazy.
Yeah.
Do you see 2 rainbows?
Yeah, I see it too.
Okay, yeah, I see at least 2. I bet you there could be infinite rainbows if there was the right conditions. What would happen if there was? You gotta keep your hats on, folks, because with rainbows like this, you never know what could happen. Yeah. So that's where a pot of gold is, right in the Quesnel River. That makes sense. That's where gold would be. That is spectacular rainbow action here. Full rainbow show going on in Quesnel. Those were intense rainbows. That's why you gotta subscribe to this channel, because have you ever seen rainbows? You don't have enough rainbows in your life. Harry? And that is a real deal rainbow.
We need more rainbows.
That's enough rainbows.
No.
My God! I just want to remind you all that we are trained professionals in this video, and we do take risks getting near these rainbows, but these are not to be messed with. We must now remember all the victims of the many devastating rainbows over the years that have caused so much harm and destruction to our civilization. Yeah, it's not even stopping. This has been a very successful day of rainbow chasing. I'm just glad that nobody was hurt, no property was damaged or destroyed, everybody's okay. And we got to see some really big time rainbow action today. Big time rainbows. It's just getting stronger and stronger. Rainbow warning. Quite powerful. To Quesnel, look out for increased chance of rainbows this afternoon. Some of these rainbows could be quite strong. Be prepared. We got all this sunshine up here, and we got all that rain back there. It's just perfect conditions for mega rainbows. Okay, we're moving into position to get a good intercept of this rainbow. Yeah, you should have seen it, Frankie. It was crazy. Mega rainbows.
That's a big rainbow.
That was a pretty big rainbow, but I wasn't scared.
You weren't?
I'm never
You
scared.
sure?
I'm never scared.
Never scared of a rainbow.
I fight wildfires and chase bears around.
The bear whisperer. Yeah.
But then I see a rainbow and I'm like, oh, that's too much. Whoa.
Much color.
Too
That's a
much
lot of
color.
rainbow. It's challenging.
Too many prime colors.
It's challenging my machismo.
It's a refracting onslaught.
Speaking of something that's terrifying. Hold on. Speaking of something that's terrifying. How about that guy?
I see.
Think twice before you order a pumpkin spice latte. Right?
Yeah, you don't want to do that to a pumpkin.
Oh, this is what happens when you drain all the pumpkin spice out of the pumpkin.
That's true. I've seen
doesn't
it.
look great. No, it just doesn't. It looks terrible. Absolutely.
Although I like that. I'd put that on my porch.
Oh yeah, scare all the kids away.
Totally. You don't need candy when your house is legitimately terrifying.
No.
I found that O'Gary and Dino's also coming down for the eclipse on Monday, April 8th, too.
They are coming for sure.
Yes.
Okay. So what do we got for weird news this week, everybody?
Weird news.
Weird news.
Well, apparently, Texas guy was officiating his wedding for his family, and he told the crowd to settle down, so he shot his shotgun and accidentally got his grandson in the shoulder.
How is that weird news? That's
Well,
just bad aim.
Just bad, yeah.
Doctors in Peru saved a toddler who swallowed 8 medical needles.
And apparently a Florida woman was caught with her pants off. There you
Oh,
go.
again?
Just Florida.
Florida.
I'm gonna be there. You know what? I'm going to be there next week, and I will have my eyes open for a true Florida man experience. I need to see this. The first time going to Florida, I have to see something insane, and I'm really, really hoping for it. I don't know what to expect, but as long as at least one kooky, unexpected, insane, surreal, seems like it's written for a bad movie kind of thing happens, I'll be really happy. It's what I need to make my life complete right now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
would be. And because you've been saying this now, they're gonna stop you at the border and be like, no, we're not letting you in because we know that you're hell bent on chaos and destruction, Imogen Cookie Bailey. Just like the U.S. Customs officials who seized giraffe poop from a woman at the Minnesota airport this week.
Rightfully so. Why are you carrying poop at an airport?
Well,
That
it's
has
giraffe
price,
poop.
and
It's not
what's
just
your
any
hand?
poop.
Yeah, it doesn't belong in your hand or your handbag or your backpack. They were right to take that poop away.
They thrown in a special garbage can before it go through security.
Yes. Do you mean a toilet?
They had to throw it in that, then they flush it out before it going through security.
Wisconsin Republicans want to make it a crime to be naked in public.
Yeah. So
I
that
think it is
Florida
a crime.
woman?
It is a crime for most of them, and rightfully so.
Okay. Well, firefighters were tricked by Halloween decorations. This was, I believe, where was this? Somewhere in the United States. Yeah, New York State there. House got reports that it was on fire. And so somebody called the fire department in, so they get to the house. No, it wasn't a fire. It's all Halloween decorations. It was really good Halloween decorations. It looked like the house was on fire.
Ah,
I actually had a similar sort of experience once a long time ago. My roommate and I had just got a whole bunch of bar lighting, basically nightclub lighting, and I had a brand new smoke machine and a little laser machine, and we were playing with it. We're just testing it all out. So we have it all around the apartment, and we've got the smoke machine going, and the lights are flashing, and it's completely insane. But there's smoke billowing out the window, and we didn't really realize what this must have looked like from the outside, because as far as we knew, the curtains were closed. However, we decided that we're going to go out to the nearby convenience store, get some chips and whatnot, because we're finished with the lights. We're going to put a movie on. We want our chips. We come back and the parking lot is flooded with fire trucks. The building is evacuated. And the first thought we have is, uh-oh, that might have been us, because from the outside, as we're thinking about it, we're realizing that a tiny apartment with a commercial grade smoke machine going off and flashing lights might look like the place is on fire. It was not actually us. What it was our neighbors, about 2 doors down the hall. They had a few drinks and they opened up a pack of sparklers. And so 4 or 5 people having a good time, running down the hallway, sparklers over their heads, whipping it, screaming, whee! As they went by the smoke detectors and the sensors in the hall, which tripped off the alarm and summoned the fire quenching demons called the fire department. So that's what we came home to, thinking it was us, thinking it was just us being jokers. And nope, it was the neighbors having a little too much fun.
Wow. That's impressive.
We had a moment of panic, to be honest, thinking that we triggered this series of, triggered an evacuation and all that. Oh, we panicked. I don't want to be that guy.
I heard that they're getting 2 to 4 inches of rain where base guy is at. That's a lot of rain in Montreal this Sunday coming up where base guy lives.
All right. Yeah, this is in Norway here. You want to try that out?
Yes, I do,
Down in
actually.
the rock, looking down, looking over. That looks like a great view from there. Yeah. Looks awesome. Awesome sauce. Well, another story out of Florida. So a woman is suing Walt Disney World there because she got a big wedgie on the Typhoon Lagoon water slide.
How's that grounds for a lawsuit?
I guess it, ruined her life. I don't know.
Okay, made her uncomfortable.
I guess.
I'm sure you never heard of
Atomic
found
wedgie.
it, I just found it in a special weather statement from Montreal where base guy is at.
Oh, yes.
yes, there is. So there was this king once named Adolf Frederick. He was in Gottorp, Germany, and he was born on May 14th, 1710. And what is he famous for? He embarked on a feast, not for the faint of heart, on a fateful day in 1771. He began with a lavish meal comprising caviar, lobsters, sauerkraut, smoked herring, and champagne. It was a meal fit for a king with an extraordinary appetite. But the true legend lies in the dessert.
That's a special weather statement for Montreal where base guy lives.
There's a semla. It's a traditional Swedish bun filled with almond paste and whipped cream, commonly served with hot milk. The story goes that he went on to eat a whopping 14 helpings of this sweet, rich delight. Several hours later, the king collapsed and died.
That's where base guy lives.
That meal sounds disgusting. Just gonna put it out there. I'm not a fan of lobster. They're giant. I'd rather eat a tarantula than a lobster.
What? Lobsters are awesome.
The special weather statement's now issued for Montreal where base guy lives.
Yeah, for sure. I'll pull that up again. That's definitely when I showed the weather statements earlier. I'm not sure when I did that, but I definitely showed some weather statements.
So I got it. Did you know here? This is like old news. But in 1977, scientists received the WOW signal, a 72-second radio signal from a region of space near the constellation of Sagittarius there. So they still have no idea where it came from, but its frequency closely matches the frequency at which hydrogen resonates. Isn't that kind of cool?
It is.
So now you know. Space.
Precipitation in the Montreal area will intensify Saturday during the day. The rain will persist on Sunday, but will be a little bit later, 50 to 80 millimeters during the event, with the heaviest amounts falling on Saturday. Water accumulation could be significant on roads and low-lying areas.
Joey, there'll be a lot of talk about on Base Guy Show tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Atlantic, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
You have a lot to talk about for sure, because he's going to get a lot of rain there, and you're going to have to tell Jack to be prepared for all that rain.
Yes, that'll be tomorrow night's Base Guy Show.
Frankie, is Base Guy your favorite?
Yes.
I thought so. He's our favorite too.
Well, here's another did you know? So
Okay.
Pencils are called lead because of an ancient mistake we refuse to erase. In the 1500s, a large deposit of graphite discovered in England was thought to be a form of lead. So the pencil was named plumbago, which is Latin for lead ore. Many languages still have words for pencil that translate to lead pen. There you go. All about the pencil that everybody loves.
I found it out. Gary and Dino's going to Salton Sea in the end of October.
That is an awesome place to go, man. I will tune in for that. 100%. I love that the pencil lead thing is just a testament to how
I
stubborn.
found out the life-size cardboard cutout of Frank that was in Surrey, BC, according to Dino and Gary and Dino.
Wait, it's in Surrey? Why is
Yes.
it in Surrey? How long's it been there?
One of the listeners to the Gary Dino show has a cardboard cutout of me in Surrey, BC.
Did you know that 7,000 people are bitten by venomous snakes in the United States every year?
I just want to point out that Surrey's like a 4-hour drive and a 2-hour ferry ride away from me. So if I know where the cardboard cutout is, I could potentially head over there and take a picture with it, or stick a little sticky mustache on it for a photo.
Yeah.
Oh, bring that cardboard cutout to Wells. It needs to come up here. I want one. I want my own one. How do I make one?
Oh my
Tell
God!
Gary
it's
and Dino to
snowing-
make one.
It's
Finding
snowing
printing
in
photo of Frankie
Regina.
is kind of just Staples or what's the other place that does printing?
Just need a big file size. That's what this place needs, is a giant Frankie McDonald life-size cardboard cutout. How tall are you, Frankie? Like 6'7"?
6 foot, 6 feet 1 inch tall. I'm gonna show you something. There's snowing in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Oh,
Show us. Here, I gotta pin you so that we can see it. Holy, it's snowing pretty good there. Look at that. Wow, poor Regina. It has to be Regina all the time.
Oh my
City
God!
that rhymes with
it's
fun.
there right now.
You may have been bitten by a snake if you have puncture marks or disturbed vision or difficulty breathing, swelling, upset stomach, rapid heart rate, or paralysis.
all those symptoms apply if you've been bitten by a werewolf as well.
6,000 people bitten by snakes. Everyone's afraid of something. I don't know. That's why I like living up in the mountains. Sure, we got some bears walking around, but they're not hiding in my, they're not sneaking, they're not in my bed.
On Saturday in Regina, Saskatchewan, it's going up to 19 degrees there Saturday.
So it's snowing today, but then it's going to go up to 19 degrees, Regina.
It's going up to 19 degrees Saturday. It's going up to 18 degrees Sunday, 17 degrees Monday, 17 degrees Tuesday. Then it's going to bring autumn-like temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday in Regina.
So it's not all doom and gloom for our friends there in Regina.
So I got another did you know here. Here we go. This one's pretty good. Did you know there's a brain condition that gives you an uncontrollable urge to make puns? If you've damaged the right frontal lobe of your brain, you can develop, it's called Witzel
Frontal
shush.
lube?
Yeah, I got that too.
It's lobe of your brain. You can develop Witzel. Oh boy, I'm gonna say this one wrong. It's gonna be add SUCHT. Okay, which is German for joke addiction. The condition causes the compulsive need to constantly make up or tell jokes, even in the middle of the night or during the important interview.
Okay, can you spell that again? Try and pronounce it, please.
Witzel such. Witzel such.
Witchell sucked.
Something like that.
That's probably what I got. That sounds so much like me.
Yeah.
You know, when people are like reading off the symptoms, like may cause paralysis, blurred vision, puncture wounds, and you're like, oh, maybe that's what I got. I'm making Hilding yawn. That's when you notice the puncture wounds and you realize you've been bitten by a werewolf
That
or a spider or a snake. So just remember,
we got in a cow today that had a puncture wound under her eye that got infected, so we couldn't ship her. We had to put her in the chute and answer to get us out of it.
remember 6,000 Americans are bitten by snakes every year, poisonous snakes, and some of them don't deserve it. Frankie, how can people find you on the internet?
If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is @FrankieMacD. My Blue Sky is @FrankieMacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is FrankieMacD984. My Instagram now has 308,000 followers right now, and my TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clap is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my LinkedIn's Frankie McDowell. And my Snapchat is Frankie ABCDON. And my Twitch is Frankie McDowell 1984. And did you hear about this? My LinkedIn's Frankie. My link tree is Frankie McDowell. On Instagram, I now have 308,000 followers on Instagram.
308,000 followers on Instagram. Frankie, good work. Good work. That's a lot of followers. That's like the size of a relevant city.
Oh yeah.
City.
Frankie's the mayor of that city.
Mayor of Frankie Town. Where would Frankie Town be, Frankie? Would it be in Canada or the USA? Or in Russia?
Just imagine if it's in between Canada and USA. What's that mean?
Oh, so Frankie Town's like on the border. It's kind of like Akwesasne.
Kind of like Lloydminster.
They have to have the U.S. border guards on the U.S. side of the border. They have to have Canada guards on the Canadian side.
Why don't you just have a Frankie land that's only in one country so that everyone's welcome to go to Frankie land?
I thought everyone was already welcome to Frankie Land. That's kind of how Frankie is. That's why he's inviting everyone to his house for the solar eclipse.
Oh, yeah.
At the Holiday Inn Hotel in Sydney, Nova Scotia, downtown Sydney, Nova Scotia, Holiday Inn.
Well, you can't really see it from inside the Holiday Inn.
Yes, you can see it outside the Holiday Inn at the boardwalk.
We can also see it from Frankie's living room and front yard. So
No,
for those who are sleeping on
it's
his
at the
couch,
outside the Holiday Inn at the boardwalk. I repeat, there's a boardwalk by the Holiday Inn. You can see it.
the view
Okay.
from Frankie's roof is so much better.
What about your roof, Frankie? What about your roof?
Wait a minute. At the Holiday Inn, outside the Holiday Inn at the boardwalk, you can see the total solar eclipse outside the Holiday Inn.
Well, to be fair, Santa Claus made a reservation on your chimney, and I'm kind of bunking with that guy this time. So
Yeah, you'll find me in the backyard stealing Wi-Fi.
It's at the, wait a minute. It's outside the Holiday Inn. It's at the Sydney Boardwalk. Holiday Inn. It's right next to Boardwalk.
I'll be like,
Frankie really does not want a swarm of couch guys for the eclipse.
he doesn't want us stealing his Wi-Fi.
It's at the Holiday Inn. Outside the Holiday Inn. There's a Boardwalk there.
Do they got Wi-Fi?
The Holiday Inn has a Wi-Fi too.
All right.
Available on the boardwalk, or do we all really have to go to your house if we want to go online?
It's a Wi-Fi at the. They have free Wi-Fi at the Holiday Inn too. They just asked this person at the Holiday Inn.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll steal our Wi-Fi from the Holiday Inn when we're not at Frankie's backyard. Okay, that's this week's show. And this is Joey only here in Wells, British Columbia. You're hearing us on CFR 88.7, CKUW 95.9, 92.5, Kamloops, CFBX, and Shaw Spotlight. And that's with Hilding Donaldson in Grassy Plains, Imogen Cookie Bailey in Victoria, Brandon Houken in Brooks, Alberta, and Frankie McDonald, who's stealing Wi-Fi right now inside of A&W. That's the show this
I don't
week.
steal Wi-Fi. Somebody's making stuff up.
That's the show this
Borrow
week.
it for a minute. But do you give it back when you're done? Is that how this goes, Frankie?
And I found it on Nelson Peabody said for Florida tomorrow.
This is my favorite time of the week always. Love you guys all. You're wonderful, Frankie. Thanks for coming on, everyone. And we'll see you next time. That's the show. That's at least the recording part. Done. Bye now. Good show. Good show. Bye, Frankie. Bye. He's just gone. Just like that. Gone.
Yeah, boy. I just made the cut. I'm in top 5.
Top 5. Nice work. Congratulations.
Yep. The counter just stopped a second ago. Everyone from 6th place on can suck it. Or
Including
whatever they're
me,
doing.
who's 77th place. Come on now.
Yep, you're out.
77th. I thought you could do a little better than that.
Yeah,
I was
a
aiming for
terrible
mid
pick.
60s for you. I really
It
had
was
no.
a selfie in front of a car, so I didn't do
See, that's
too well.
pretty awesome. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, next round of cuts, I believe, are just for, was it the number 1 position after that? I think it's I think they're cutting it down because the first couple times they did these contests, it was like, they do like 2 weeks or 3 weeks for the first round of cuts, then 2 weeks and then a week. But then they cut it down. So it was like top 10, top 5, top 3, then top 1 places only. then from everyone in the number one pool, then that got cut down to the winner. But it took so long that no one cared after a shorter time. So they cut it down to speed it up a lot. So now I think they're just doing I think it's going to go from top 5 to number 1 positions now, which is neat.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's no way in hell I'm going to win it for sure. But finishing in top 5 is kind of like, that's the spot to be in, really. So cool.
Congratulations, Imogen. Congratulations. Always surpassing.
Things are on fire. We got severe storms trying to develop up this afternoon. And
this is a video from my summer. One of the exciting days.
Best use for me.
When it finally shows its face, I mean, the top's starting to blow on this guy. He's getting big, getting that animal
Severe
shape.
thunderstorm going
structure
on.
seems sort of isolated, so maybe it'll be able to power up.
It was awesome when it came.
And over here we got smoke.
And I was being weatherman.
In American.
There's our fire.
0.6 miles in American.
Working with the hot shots there, our American friends.
Now that is definitely a guy to watch, whoever gets underneath that one.
And Iverson, Task Force Buckeye, could you give me the call sign for our weather person on site?
I am 198.
That's me, weather person.
198, what you seeing?
So we have a cell that's east of us now that's producing a little bit of lightning, but it's getting its energy drawn out of it to these guys to the south. We still have some time, but that could close in pretty quick in the next hour.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Big old flames. I just love big fire.
I mean, I like setting big fire, but that's only in
Entered optimal conditions.
We get to do that too sometimes.
Keep a good bead on the wind, and weather guy off the Iverson crew.
It starts getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and then it starts sucking more and more air, and then as it gets hotter and hotter, it starts climbing up and doing more and more explosive things. Very fun when it's like that.
Burning a little bit.
And you can see it's like
But
picking up.
the developing storms are sucking it towards it. So this is really ideal.
And we're like trying to guard that line, trying to not let it get past. And right at the critical moment, the weather is sucking on it. Before, you know, what obviously happens when the outflow arrives, and it tries to blow on the fire across our guard, which it did not do. There was enough rain and enough of us. Just enough. 7 of us that were there. Kept it on the right side.
Hey, what time is
That's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
I had to like walk with my head away. I couldn't look
Really
at that
fucking
'cause
hot.
it's too hot.
And tilt my head down, keep it
Whoosh.
off my face, and I'll watch the video later.
Check that shit out.
Woo!
Trees canneling. Totally fun.
Awesome.
I had to like walk with like this.
Task Force McCandless Division, Nickel?
Just hold the phone up and turn my head the other way so it'll
Being a
burn my
weatherman,
face.
and I love when people actually listen to what I'm fucking saying. It's so nice.
I was all over it that day.
What I'm saying is, this is coming.
You guys were kind of sturdy, those catches right behind him, and I'll get you, so I think you guys tighter than you're just bouncing around. All right, thanks.
Boom.
Started getting lightning
Thundering.
strikes.
Hey, Baca Division. Go ahead. Yeah, you probably just caught that. Yeah, I'm up here at 20. Did see a downstroke out there to the south, southeast. Looks like a bit of roving vehicle patrol.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll be mobile.
The biggest flames we're already settled.
Here, 437, you got me.
Just in time for the storm to come blow on it.
Yeah, same thing, starting to see it, you know,
Only a few piles left were really burning like that.
So a thunderstorm's almost on us, and that'll help cool this off a little bit, I'm pretty sure. Sometimes things get pretty hot. But we got the weather outside. This is some pretty wild convection that's happening. These storms are going to be really severe when they pop. So I am stoked.
Yeah, McCandless.
They were. It was pretty good.
Division copies all that direct. Thanks, guys.
Still info towards the storm.
Main thing is making sure nothing fucking jump on that side. Fucking lightning, smoke.
And when a storm hit, you couldn't even see anything. Everything's steaming, smoking, wind blowing it towards the guard now.
Blasting wind,
pretty smoky.
smoke, lightning. What a great fucking day.
It was awesome.
Nice.
Boom.
That was right fucking there. Yeah, I did. Those guys are like fucking school nerds. They don't know what it's like to be on the land, man.
I'm talking shit.
It's one thing to look at weather data and make assumptions. It's another thing to have like experience with the land you're on.
It's true.
Yeah, man. It's not joking around. See those lightning strikes? Holy fuck. Boom. 1 kilometer or less. Maybe slightly more.
I'm surprised you didn't say there goes the dynamite.
Yeah, I forgot that time. There wasn't time. It was like flash, thunder. It has to be like, you got to have like a good 7-8 second count when you see a really good downstroke. It's a positive, some positive CG. You know it's going to be just fucking booming when it comes.
I wish I got
7
the
seconds, 8 seconds, and it's still going to boom hard even though it's that far away. That's when you go, here comes the thunder, here comes the dynamite.
yeah. I really wish I got the bolt that hit the power pole down the road here on video, because that was epic. So it hit the
Boom.
power
There
pole
goes the
and
dynamite.
it lit up as blue as anything, the whole sky, and it was just wicked. Power blipped and then it came back on, knocked the hot tub out completely, and then I had to run down to make sure that it didn't start any fires down there, which luckily it did because it's been so dry. But yeah,
Totally. The one time the lightning hit in 2011, lightning hit the transformer right behind my house, and it was like sparks went flying down the wires. Like it was awesome.
oh, that would have been awesome. Yeah.
I was like, I wonder where that hit. And the next day, like, go behind the house, and the transformer box is just destroyed. And like everybody, power went out all over town, but then one by one, lights started coming on until like my house is the last light. And Tom's around the corner here, and nothing, like.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, power came back on for everyone in town but us. The next morning, go out and look, and it's like visibly destroyed. Like,
Yeah.
Took it hard, yeah.
Crazy.
Well, half a mile from my house, one time in Fort St. John, there was an owl picked up a dead rabbit that had been hit on the road and flew over the power line and arced on the power line, and it burnt the line right off. The line went flying, recoiling down the road ditch on fire, and lit a grass fire that went racing for like about 2 miles up the road, and we had all the firefighters out fighting. It was just amazing. It happened because an owl picked up roadkill, dropped it on the line, and shorted the line out.
Crazy owls. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I guess that's the podcast this week. We're getting to that point where there's not that much to talk about. I did just put up my 1,000th video on my YouTube channel here, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. So thanks. I'm trying to grow this channel into something that's more than just a hobby. I like it to be something that's meaningful to myself and many other people. So please do hit subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, and let people know every Thursday night we'll be on here with our crazy weekly podcast about how much the weather sucks in Canada. And suck it does indeed. Well, not this weekend so much for us, but for everybody else, probably. Yeah.
Regina.
Who cares? Who cares about them? Okay. Thanks for coming on, everybody. And good to see you as always.